Theodore Cornwall, thank you for a $20 super chat. How do I get longer flight times on my Tiny Hawk 2? Right now, I'm getting 2 minutes on a brand new 1S 450 milliamp hour. Do I get a bigger battery? Is this normal? Where's the compromise? Should I be satisfied? Theodore, the first thing I would ask you is how low are you running the voltage before you stop flying? If you're used to flying larger drones, you may run the voltage down to maybe 3.5 or 3.6 volts. But on a little 1S drone, you got to run it right down to like 3.1 volts or maybe even 3.0 volts. Those little 1S batteries, first of all, like I was about to say they have less sag, but that's not even usually true necessarily. You basically, to get any reasonable flight time out of a little 450 milliamp hour battery, you got to run it all the way down to the wire. And the nice thing about it is, if you have a 6-cell battery, you might be running one cell down to 2.8 volts and damaging it without knowing it, because you have 6 cells and you only see the average voltage of all 6 cells. So one cell might be running low. But if you have a 1S battery, well, you know the voltage of the cell, and you can run it right down to 3.1 or even 3.0 volts, and you know you're not damaging it. You just need to land it immediately so it doesn't go below 3.0 volts. The other thing is that you definitely need a battery with a BT 2.0 connector, and you need a high quality cell. You need to put a BT 2.0 connector on your quad. If you have PH 2.0, get rid of that, solder a BT 2.0 pigtail onto your flight controller. Don't get an adapter, that defeats the purpose. And get batteries that have BT 2.0 connectors, and get good quality BT 2.0 connectors as well. Jacob Rosenfeld asks, does the same rule apply to a 4S battery? Well, no, because number one, with a 4S battery, you just have more watt hours to begin with. So you don't need to run it as close to the line to get reasonable flight time out of it. You should be getting more reasonable flight time. But with the 1S battery, there's so little energy in the battery to begin with, you just need all you can get. The other thing is that with a 4-cell battery, let's say I told you that the voltage of the battery was 12 volts, okay? So 12 volts is the voltage of the battery. You have 4 cells. That means each cell is 12 divided by 4 equals 3 volts. Aha, well, everything is fine. 3 volts, I mean, I've run the battery completely empty. But no, one of the cells might be at 2.8 volts and one might be at 3.2 volts. And the average is still 12 volts, but one of those cells is being damaged. So anytime you have more than one cell, if you run it all the way down to the absolute bare minimum, you're risking damaging one of the cells because they don't discharge evenly. But with a 1 cell, you just know, and you can run it right down to the bottom. Okay, so that's how to get longer flight time out of your Tiny Hawk 2. Don't underestimate the value of buying a good quality cell. If we go to We Bleed FPV, this is where I like to go for Tiny Whoop related stuff. We Bleed shop, batteries, chargers, etc. Can I find a 450? How do I find? Can I just search? Price? No. Okay. No. Can I search? No, you can't find. You don't sell any 450s? I don't believe you. I do not believe you. I do not believe you that you don't have any 450s. Ciati, am I crazy? Here's a 2S 450. That's not what I want. Oh my God. What the frick? I'm taking crazy pills. Here we go. There you go. That's it. That's what I wanted. Oh, it's because there's no space between 450 and Ma. Okay. Yeah, so like this is a good battery. Although, does it come with BT 2.0? It better. Yeah, pigtail or direct plug BT 2.0. This is a solid battery. Good quality cell, BT 2.0. You're going to do really well with something like this, although they're not cheap. So they're not as cheap as the bad ones. TinyWhoop.com, also very good. TinyWhoop.com. How come no one has actual data that BT 2.0 is better? What are you talking about, Tony DiMaggio? Everyone did that testing 3 years ago when BT 2.0 came out. The point was proven. It was proven beyond a shadow of a doubt. And then we all moved on with our lives. Like, for example, proof that Beta FPV BT 2.0 is the best Tiny Whoop battery connector. Joshua Bardwell, 4 years ago. That's the exact video you're asking for, right? Boom. Yep, I tested like 6 batteries. Here's the difference. The blue line is BT 2.0, the red line is PH 2.0. Huh, which one's better? BT 2.0, clearly. Good enough for you? No? Okay, Chris Rosser. Which tiny whoop batteries are the best? Chris Rosser did testing as well. And I don't know if he had a specific chapter on BT versus PH, but again, what fucking batteries did he even test? Oh, man. Sometimes I struggle a little bit with his test results, just because it's finding stuff. BT 2.0, GNB 27, etc., etc. There's a little more variety here because Chris didn't test identical cells, one with BT and one with PH. So, like, you could have a really good cell with a PH and a bad cell with a BT, and the PH wins. But there's just no question that BT 2.0 has less voltage sag, less resistance. It just gives better performance. It's just established. It's a fact.